Welcome back. What if that quarter in your change jar was secretly worth over $10,000? Today, we're diving into two jaw-dropping U.S. state quarters, the 2020 Salt River Bay and the 2022 Maya Angelou, that turned everyday pocket change into serious cash. Let's kick things off with the 2020 Salt River Bay quarter. In 2020, amidst the shadows of a global pandemic and shifting cultural tides, the United States Mint released a new installment in its America the Beautiful Quarter series. The Salt River Bay National Historical Park and Ecological Preserve in the U.S. Virgin Islands was chosen to be immortalized on one of the 5 quarter designs issued that year. This coin celebrated a unique blend of history and nature, showcasing a red mangrove tree in its early stages of growth, an image rooted in resilience, sustainability, and the raw beauty of ecological heritage. Millions were produced by both the Philadelphia and Denver mints, entering circulation as symbols of unity during a fragmented time. But in the quiet churn of machines and metal, one batch stood apart, harboring a subtle imperfection that would later become the epicenter of a numismatic revelation. Among collectors, the America the Beautiful series had already ignited renewed interest in modern quarters. While most coins passed unnoticed through vending machines and cash drawers, a few pairs of eyes scoured the designs with intensity. One such pair belonged to Eleanor Watts, a seasoned numismatist based in Asheville, North Carolina. Her collection focused on anomalies, coins that whispered stories others missed. Eleanor had made it her mission to study new releases not just for their artistry, but for what might lie beneath the surface. In late autumn of 2020, Eleanor received a $10 roll of quarters as part of her weekly routine. As she examined each coin under her magnification lamp, the Salt River Bay design appeared several times. She admired its detailed line work, the graceful arc of the mangrove roots, and the texture of the fronds. But one coin stopped her. It looked normal at first glance, but under light, something peculiar became evident. A ghost-like doubling shimmered across the leaves of the mangrove. The letters, Salt River Bay, showed a subtle, almost imperceptible shift. Her breath caught. She adjusted her lens and repositioned the coin. The anomaly persisted. This wasn't machine damage. It wasn't the type of abrasion caused by wear. It was cleaner, more deliberate, almost as if the die itself had shifted ever so slightly between strikes. A double die, perhaps, one of the most coveted and mysterious types of minting error. She reached for another Salt River Bay quarter from the same roll and compared the two. The second coin lacked the anomaly. Then a third and fourth, all ordinary. Eleanor knew the process well. In minting, dies strike planchets with immense force. A double die occurs when the die itself is created improperly, when its hubbing results in a duplication of part of the design. It's a rare error that must happen early in production and often affects only a limited number of coins before correction. She needed confirmation. After sending the coin to a grading and attribution service, the response stunned even her. The report came back. 2020 Salt River Bay Quarter, Double Die Obverse, FS 101. The FS designation stood for 5S Stanton, a cataloging system used to identify notable varieties. Her coin had not only been confirmed as a double die, but had received the first strike designation. It was the first of its kind officially attributed. News traveled quickly. Forums lit up. Collectors began to scrutinize their own rolls, their pocket change, the handful of quarters left on dressers and in glove compartments. Slowly, a trickle of similar examples began to emerge, each with slight differences, some more dramatic than others. But Eleanor's coin had something the others didn't. It bore the strongest doubling, the most visible ghosting in the design, and perhaps most importantly, the provenance of being the discovery piece. Initially, estimates for the coin's value were modest. Modern errors, even rare ones, often start in the low thousands. But as more collectors sought to find their own FS 101s and failed, prices began to climb. In early 2021, a lower-grade example sold at auction for $2,300. A few months later, one graded MS-66 with moderate doubling fetched over $7,800. Yet Eleanor's remained the benchmark, untouched, unsold, and increasingly priceless. The market responded in unpredictable ways. dealers began offering by prices north of $15,000 for high-grade examples. Online marketplaces saw a wave of listings, many fakes, some misidentified. Only the officially graded coins with clear doubling and attribution could command the attention of serious collectors. Eleanor received inquiries from museums, private investors, and numismatic authors eager to document the find. But what continued to mystify experts was the inconsistency of the doubling. Most doubled dies show uniform characteristics, but the Salt River Bay examples exhibited a strange variation. Some coins showed doubling in the tree roots, others in the lettering, and a few in the torch hand on the obverse, which wasn't supposed to have been modified. This inconsistency led to a deeper investigation into the 2020 production line. Die wear, rotation misalignment, or even a misfeed during the die hubbing process were all considered, but none fully explained the scope of variation. The U.S. Mint made no public statement, but insiders hinted at an accelerated production schedule during COVID-19 lockdowns that may have contributed to quality control oversights. Then came a discovery that altered everything. In mid-2022, a coin show in Kansas City featured a Salt River Bay quarter with both a double die obverse and an off-center strike. The coin's design was slightly rotated, with the right edge of the mangrove clipped by the rim. It was still a clear match to the FS101 variety, but with an added layer of imperfection. This dual-error coin, part double die, part off-center, was unheard of for the series. It went to auction and quietly sold for $18,200. The numismatic community was stunned. Experts revisited Eleanor's coin with new questions. Could hers have a micro off-center strike too? With enhanced imaging, the answer was no. But another twist awaited. Under ultraviolet light, Eleanor's coin revealed something unexpected, a faint planchet flaw running beneath the doubling, suggesting it had been struck on an improperly annealed blank. This combination, double die plus underlying planchet error, meant the coin had endured not one, but two distinct mishaps before it was released. The implications were staggering. Each type of error in isolation could raise a coin's value. Together, in one coin, it suggested a perfect storm of minting anomalies. From a technical standpoint, Eleanor's quarter was now a trifecta, a specimen that defied probability, process, and expectation. Collectors began to revise their price models. No longer was the FS101 viewed as just a double die. It was now a potential gateway to a family of compounded errors. Demand surged. Grading agencies updated their attribution criteria. Auction houses prepared new listings. And all the while, Eleanor held onto her discovery piece, declining every offer with the quiet certainty that the coin's true value had yet to be fully realized. By the end of 2023, fewer than 40 confirmed FS101 examples had surfaced. Of those, only 3 had the doubling strong enough to compare with Eleanor's. Prices had climbed steadily. Mid-range examples sold for between $6,000 and $9,500. A mint state, high doubling coin sold in Boston for $21,000. Speculation mounted that Eleanor's quarter, should it ever hit the auction block, might redefine pricing standards for modern U.S. errors. Her story became part of modern numismatic folklore, a symbol of persistence, curiosity, and the enduring excitement of discovery. The Salt River Bay quarter, once an overlooked entry in a vast commemorative series, had become a touchstone for a new generation of collectors. It reminded them that even in the era of digital banking and contactless transactions, physical currency could still surprise, still hold secrets, still spark wonder. In the years since, additional varieties have been rumored but not verified. Some claim to have found versions with clashed dies. Others believe there may be transitional errors tied to late-stage planchet shifts between different mints. None, however, have approached the clarity and drama of that original double die error. The mangrove tree, meant to represent growth and resilience, had become the perfect metaphor. From a seed of imperfection grew one of the most captivating modern coin discoveries in decades. Collectors today continue to scrutinize Salt River Bay quarters with care. For every 1 million ordinary strikes, perhaps only 1 or 2 carry the ghost of that anomaly. And among those, only a rare few bear the hallmarks of the FS101 class, and fewer still hold the compound flaws that made Eleanor's coin a marvel. Now, in numismatic circles, the 2020 Salt River Bay Quarter FS101 error is recognized not just for its rarity, but for what it represents: the unpredictable magic of coinage. The human eye's ability to find wonder in the smallest of places, and the ever-unfolding story of American minting. The value of these coins continues to evolve, shaped by scarcity, story, and demand. Today, the best-preserved examples of the 2020 Salt River Bay double die error are valued between $30,000 and $95,000, with the most extraordinary examples, like the original discovery piece, expected to set new records should they ever change hands. In 2022, a significant shift took place in the long-standing design legacy of U.S. coinage. For the first time in its history, the U.S. Mint launched the American Women Quarters Program, an initiative aimed at honoring remarkable women who shaped the nation's story across a wide range of fields and eras. The inaugural release in this celebrated series featured none other than the legendary Maya Angelou, poet, civil rights activist, performer, and global icon. Her image was immortalized on the reverse of the $quarter coin, elegantly poised with outstretched arms and a bird taking flight behind her, an allusion to her powerful work. I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings. Designed by Emily Damstraw and sculpted by Craig A. Campbell, this was no ordinary quarter. It was a symbol of inclusion, power, and transformation. Yet, tucked between flawless examples of her radiant profile, one particular coin carried a flaw so subtle that even the minting machines overlooked it. It would not remain hidden for long. The error didn't originate in the drawing boards or during the conceptual design stages. It wasn't the fault of artistry or vision. Instead, it occurred during the minting process, deep within the mechanical bowels of one of the nation's high-speed coining presses. During production at both the Denver and Philadelphia mints, planchets, blank metal discs, are rapidly fed into a coining press where dies strike each one with precise force. Under this mechanical pressure, a single misalignment, a momentary loss of calibration, or a deteriorating die can lead to anomalies that may never be replicated again. It was within this precise margin for error that one Maya Angelou quarter emerged with an unusual trait. The die had shifted mid-strike. This coin made its quiet exit from the mint, indistinguishable in a sea of mass-produced currency, entering circulation undetected. It wasn't until late that year when Nathaniel Pierce, a collector from Syracuse, New York, first encountered the coin while sifting through a fresh batch of customer-wrapped rolls he had acquired from a local bank. Nathaniel wasn't new to error hunting. His weekends were spent examining Lincoln cents for double dies or Roosevelt dimes with off-center strikes. But the new quarters intrigued him, especially with the significance of the figures being honored. When he held up the Angelou quarter under the magnifying glass, something felt wrong. Not wrong in the sense of damage or wear, but off in its balance. Her silhouette looked slightly distorted, and the rays of sunlight fanning out behind her didn't quite align as they should. He rotated the coin slowly, then again. There was doubling, clear doubling on the right wing of the bird, and a faint shadow beneath the word quarter. The date appeared to be punched twice, barely perceptible to the naked eye but unmistakable under 10x magnification. A thrill ran down Nathaniel's spine. He knew what he had: a double die error. But he needed to be sure. He packaged the coin and sent it to a professional grading service, requesting full attribution and examination. Weeks passed before the report arrived. The letterhead bore the confirmation he hoped for: 2022 Maya Angelou quarter, double die reverse, discovery specimen. The coin had been struck with a misaligned hub, resulting in a doubling that was not caused by mechanical ejection or die deterioration, but by the actual creation of the die itself. The error was not cosmetic. It was systemic and exceedingly rare. News traveled, not instantly but persistently. Online forums buzzed with screenshots and grainy images. Other collectors posted their own Maya Angelou quarters in hopes of finding the same doubling. For months, Nathaniel's coin remained the only confirmed example with such distinct reverse doubling. As word of the find reached seasoned numismatists, interest intensified. The first public sale of a comparable coin, though with lighter doubling, went for just under $2,000 at a regional auction. Nathaniel's specimen, however, was different. As the discovery piece, It held not just error status, but historical precedence. The doubling on the bird's wing created an eerie echo effect, as if two birds were captured mid-flight. On closer inspection, the rays of light, symbolizing freedom and enlightenment, were skewed at their tips, giving them a spectral shimmer. The word quarter bore shadowed lettering, slightly to the northeast, which lent it a whispered twin. This was not post-mint damage, not the result of a strike-through, but a genuine double die error, confirmed through die markers and mint analysis. The collector's world now had a new anomaly to chase. Speculation spiraled. If the die that struck Nathaniel's coin continued in production, more examples had to be out there. Collectors scoured rolls from the Philadelphia Mint. Social media exploded with posts about sightings, some genuine, many not. Authentication services found themselves inundated with Maya Angelou quarters, most bearing no errors, some with minor planchet flaws, but none matching Nathaniel's. Then, in early 2023, a second confirmed coin surfaced in Portland, Oregon, graded 1 point lower, its doubling fainter, but verifiable. The Portland coin sold privately for $7,400. The market had spoken. Over the next several months, only 5 more coins were confirmed with the same die error. The doubling varied slightly among them, as though the die had continued to shift incrementally during its brief lifespan before being pulled or replaced. Each new discovery fueled a race among error hunters, all desperate to locate the rarest of modern misprints. Dealers began offering cash premiums for unsearched rolls of 2022 quarters. Some even placed bounties on specific mint-marked examples, hoping for a demint counterpart. Then came the twist no one expected. A collector in Dallas, examining coins with UV light, noticed something odd about one of the confirmed double die quarters. Beneath the surface, faint streaks, unseen under regular light, ran diagonally across the field behind Angelou. Forensic analysis revealed it was a planchet flaw, likely due to incomplete metal flow during blank preparation. This meant that in addition to the double die, at least one of the coins had been struck on a defective blank, making it a dual-error specimen. This coin sold for $18,900 just weeks after authentication. It became one of the most talked-about coins of the year. Nathaniel, meanwhile, declined all offers. Auction houses approached him with estimates ranging from $22,000 to $31,000, but he held firm. For him, the coin wasn't just valuable, it was symbolic. A mistake, yes, but one that turned into a celebration. A coin honoring Maya Angelou, who had often written about turning hardship into power, now existed in a form shaped by flaw yet made extraordinary by IT.AS of mid-2024. Only 11 confirmed double die Maya Angelou quarters had surfaced, each bearing distinct degrees of doubling, each verified by die markers and mint analysis. None exceeded the clarity and grade of Nathaniel's discovery piece. Rumors circulated about a possible triple die version appearing in the wild, though none had yet been confirmed. Prices continued to climb. At major coin conventions, whispers about the Angelou 11 turned to bidding wars in back rooms and private lounges. It was no longer just a quarter, it was a grail. The error's impact reached beyond price tags. It reminded collectors of the fragility in the perfection they so often seek. The Maya Angelou quarter, meant to commemorate resilience and beauty, had inadvertently embraced those very values through its error. Its doubling didn't mar its symbolism, it enhanced it. The mirrored wings of the bird, the ghosted rays, the imperfect inscription, they spoke to a deeper truth, that sometimes errors are what make things valuable, not despite their imperfection but because of it. Collectors continue to pursue these coins with fervor. Search lists remain active, bounties grow, and the legend of the 2022 Maya Angelou quarter error deepens with every new discovery. It stands as a testament to the unpredictable beauty of minting, the passionate eyes of those who notice the smallest details, and the legacy of a woman whose voice soared, and whose quarter now echoes that flight in more ways than one.